Hey everybody. All right. So today I'm just gonna play with code and mainly play with some OBS stuff because I was doing some fun things like this, and I think I talked about this previously with the slide animations in the background, which comes back to here, and then I also have that camera. And all of that is done with filters and a website. Honestly, there's a lot of sites out there that do overlays, and they'll charge you, I don't know, like $10 for an overlay or $5 for an overlay. But most of the overlays you can do pretty easily with CSS and just basic HTML. Uh, I want to take you through a few of those and actually show you what other people have done. And some of these, there are some really great websites out there that do a lot of those, mm, do a lot of those overlays. But you can do a lot of it yourself and save yourself some money. Um, all right. One of the things I was playing with, and you're going to see it right now. Hold on, let's see, OBS overlays. And I will just start right from here. So if I come here and I do a search for OBS overlays, Shutterstock is sponsored. Owned is one of the better ones that I've seen. It's actually pretty amazing, to be honest with you. Streamlabs is another common one, but let's go to Owned because it's really good. Join for free. Yeah, I'm not gonna join. But they do like crazy streaming widgets. They have chatbots and so many overlays. Um, yeah,
Want to design a Valorant stream
and I will
overlay? Open Owned Pro Builder.
stop.
Select a template and
Okay, and they have packages so you can actually have a theme and you can fully animate. Yeah, this is actually a great example. You can have new subscribers, fun animations, and all of that, and you don't have to download Adobe Premiere and build all of that yourself. And all pro features. So where is your pricing? Steam Builder overlays. Let's come here. Oh yeah, and you can. It's basically it sets up. This is kind of funny. It sets up a local version of overlays, so you can actually do overlays for anything. But what's really funny is that overlay that you see here is a local version of a website. I mean, sure, I don't have crazy animations or some other things that I you can pull in. And yeah, it's there's some simplicity to some of the things I've done, but you can go into like some really great CSS animations. If you want, you can use GreenSock and even do crazier animations. You can have them loop, you can actually have them triggered. What's really nice about OBS is if you have a website, you can actually interact with that website in OBS. So you can actually trigger events if you want. If you have a Stream Deck, that's a whole different world, and then you can actually set hotkeys to actually do certain things in regards to that too. Uh, all right, let me go back to the other ones, right? The other one is Stream Elements. Was actually this is the first one that came up that wasn't sponsored. And they have things like this, which I haven't even looked at this one yet. Customize colors, fonts. But let's see. Features, resources, get sponsored, elements gallery. Let's see what I have. Element gallery. Theme packages. Shapes. Sorry for the helicopter in the background. let's see. I don't know. Here, just pick this one. So this is a stream package with overlays. Says they're starting soon. Wow. Yeah, they actually did a really good job. This is kind of crazy. And here's a great example of how they do overlays. So as you can see, oh, sorry, you're not seeing this. My bad. There you go. Here's one of them that they've done. So all this, and if you look, this is a screen capture here. This is a mask here. And here's your subscriber stuff down here. The thing that really fascinates me is these kind of animations about somebody who just subscribed and how that animation gets triggered and pops up. But this is actually an in-game scene. So what I want to do, and then you have this. So really what they have here is a background, one mask, two masks, three masks. And these are just buttons that are overlays as part of the masks, and that's it. So if I come back to mine, right, I have one mask right here. So let's go back to this. And let's see if I can get close to something like this, coding from scratch. So let's do that. And I will want to get all of this set up. Oh, I already have it running because you can see it. Watch, if I stop this, I'm going to stop my browser. So I've stopped this. And if I come here and I refresh, all of that goes away. The overlay goes away because the website's no longer running. If I run the website and I refresh, and there you go. Done. All right, so let's get into the code. Here's this, and I want to simulate something like this. So what I'm going to do for this, oh, here's another thing you might have noticed. See how I have a border up here? That border up here is something I created too, and I can show you how to do that today too. Today's my play day, and I'm going to play. Yeah, I really enjoy doing OBS stuff and video production, and then post-production stuff. Very tedious, very fun, and some of the results are amazing. All right, let's get back in. Okay, so this is what we're going to try and create. So we need a box here, box, box. Let's just do these three to start, and I'll show you how to do buttons too. So 1, 2, 3, great. 1920 by 1040, and I will start with my original one. So, and I will call this overlay, new overlay. Great, so now I have new overlay.js, and I will call it new overlay. If I want, I can actually do custom, you know what, I will. I'll even do a brand new CSS for that. It's a new overlay. Let me get rid of all of this. I'm gonna have a single div in here. No classes. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna show you how to do it from truly ground zero, because everyone's like, oh, just copy my code and everything works. That's dumb. You're not learning anything. So I'm gonna do overlay 2. Module.css. And that should fail because it doesn't exist. So let me come here, and I'm going to create a new file, and I will call it overlay-2.module.scss. The reason I use SCSS is because it allows you to do inheritance and it allows you to do a certain level of encapsulation. So I can have a hierarchy and I don't have to write these long CSS classes and it'll generate all of that for me. That's why. Excuse me, sorry about that. All right. So overlay 2, new overlay, and I'm going to put hello world. And let's see what that looks like on a website. Localhost 3000 overlays. New overlay. That's what it looks like. You can see the hello world up here, and it's really hard to see. It has a pretty cool background because, why does that have that background? Because my parent, where is it? Slow. My parent actually has animations on it right here. So the global has the animations. This is inheriting from that right here because this is a child of the parent. Kind of makes sense. App is where it starts. Then it goes to documents, index. And this is where the layout is included, which is being imported from the component, which is right here. And if you notice, there's a layout.module.scs, which is right here. However, the global is actually what is getting included. So everything has a default in Next.js, and your top level will be your app document, app, and then document, right? And then you should see layout. Oh, main and next script. Those are the scripts. Body. Great. There's my preloader, and then main. And main is part of the next document. And then you come in here. And here's my layout home. Here's my head. And then this is the container for that. Anyway, I'm just taking you through why there's something already here. But there's no styling on this whatsoever, so I am going to come here. I want to open this one permanently. I'm going to close everything else. Let's close others. Let's close everything. And then come here. All right. So let's add our very first class. And we will do last name equals styles dot, we'll say new overlay. That'll be the default style for this. Yeah. And it gives me an error, right? Because that style doesn't exist. So if I come back to here and I do new overlay, and I will do display flex, display content, line item center, font size, 4M, and color. Because of the background, I don't make it black. Great. So now if I come back here, there's the little world. Yay, centered. Excited? Not really. But now what we want to do is create some, right? Remember, we're trying to create something like this, right? So to do that, we need a border. I mean, a box. Oops, a box here, and a box here. So we need 3 boxes. You do them fixed. I generally like display flex for a lot of things. But because we know exactly the size of this is going to be 1920 by 1080. How do I know that? Because that is what I am streaming, 1920 by 1080. So to do that, I'm going to start with Flex so you can see how it works. And then I'm going to switch it to fixed. All right, it's a new overlay. So we will call this desktop container. We need one of those. We need camera container. And we need one more, which I guess this would be the chat if people were talking. So we will do chat container. Chat container. Oops. Camera container. Chat container. Great. Now let's add classes to all of that. Class name. And I like to use this. So this will be desktop. And then class name equals. And this will be camera. And this will be chat. Great. And they're all children of the new overlay. So I will come into here. And when I say children, it's because you see how I put this inside. So now when I do desktop, that'll be inside of it. And then camera, that'll be inside of it. And then chat, and that'll be inside of it. So when it gets rendered, it will only affect, I wonder if this still works. Here, I can do this. Can I do this? Yeah. I want to see something real quick. Oh, yeah. These. And it should be Control A. All right, let's see if that works. Oh, it does. So inside of this, you see this here. Then I have desktop, camera, and chat. All right, let's keep going. So we'll do a width of, let's say, 80 VW and height 80 VH and background color white. And I'm going to explain what I'm doing right now. Right now, I'm just putting in some sizes so we can see what they're going to look like. So this will be 10. That'll be 40. We'll go with that. And this will be 10. And this will be probably 30. And let's change these colors so you can see the different one. We'll do that one green. This one purple. Why not? All right, all created. So then I come here. And great, I have a desktop container, camera container, and chat container. And because I'm using Flex, what you're seeing, oh look, there's the green screen. All right, because I'm using Flex, probably shouldn't use green. Let's change that to blue. There. Sorry about that. All right. So what you can see here, I'm using Flex, so it's putting them all in order. And if I start playing with some of that, let's make this the width of 60. I like that. We'll do height of 50. So you can see how quickly it changes. then I come back here. Well, that's good. Great. Come back here. And then let's see what we're looking at. Let's make that a little higher. Because it's going to be hard coded of a 1920, so I can actually do that right now with 1920. Height 1080. And I'm wondering if this screen is that size. We'll figure that out. Let's do some fun stuff. All right. So why is this have so much? I think that size is right. Not this 2048 by 1080. So this is 1920 by 1080. So that's perfect. Because that's what you're gonna actually see on the OBS. So now I want to it's yeah, so there. It's like, why is it going all the way down? It's because I have line items, right? Which I won't do for this. Because I want them in specific position. So I got rid of the display flex and it now will stack them automatically. But what I'm going to do is make these some specific sizes with 900, height 500, 900, there, 1080, we'll do 1200. Let's see how close. That's close. We'll do 1000. That looks good. And then margin 10. Yeah, all right. All right. What kind of margin does this guy have? It looks like 20, 50. So let's do that. Margin 20, 50. X. Switch that. Because that's the top. The next one's left and right. And when you do margins or padding or any of that, it goes top, right, bottom, left. If you only list two, it just does the top and bottom for the first one, left and right for the second. So when I save that, there. Not bad. There's that screen. It's more of a. Let's do 1400. There. That looks better. Great. So now we have the desktop container. Now we have these way off screen. Okay. But we're going to fix that. So we were going to change this to position fixed. Great. And now the other one basically fell behind it. So those are going to be position fixed too. And you can do fixed or absolute. And everyone's like, what's the difference between that? I don't know. I'm sure there is one. Let's look it up. Fixed versus absolute CSS. This position absolute is the first position. Parent fixed is relative to the browser window. Okay, so fixed is based off of the browser window and absolute is based off of the parent container. There you go. So for what I'm doing, I should be using fixed. Yay. All right. Mainly because I care about the browser window. I don't care about the parent containers. I actually intentionally don't care about the parent containers because I need the layout to be exactly what it is for the overlay. All right, so then top 50, then rate 20, and we were going to put this in here, and this will be bottom 50. So let's see. There you go. So we have a camera container and a chat container. Now let's start playing with this. So when I'm starting to play with like some of the details of uh, a window and this kind of CSS that you see over here. Oh wow, it came back. Go back. Hey, it's me. So when I'm doing that level of detail and I just wanted to tweak it just to get it in the exact right spot, I'll do it using the inspector, and I'll show you how to do that right now. All right, so coming back to this. Sorry, my Stream Deck just started going weird. I don't know what was going on with that. All right, so now I'm here, and I'm going to inspect. And great, so now you can see all of these wonderful things. So let's select desktop container, looks good. Generally, I like to do a border radius 10px just to make the borders look a little bit better. And if I'm gonna have anything in it, I want a padding of 10px just to give it some space and not stress you out when you're looking at it. All right, so now you can see that this has a little border on it. Yay for me. All right, let's go to the camera container. So top and right. So let's see where I want the right to be. I want it to be let's do 350. That looks good. And then width of 400px. Great. Let's see how close that is. Not very. More wide. Okay. So even from here, I can come and let's make the width something like that. We'll do 500px. That looks better. And we'll move it over right about there. And we'll do the height to be 200px. Say 250. 2-to-1 ratio, right? So that looks pretty good. And let's do what I always like to do, padding 10px, and then border radius 10px. Great. All right, so we have our camera container. So let's take this before we lose it. And this is the camera, so I'm gonna put that over here. And let's inspect this one. Make sure I have all of that right. Desktop. And I will put padding 10 px, border radius 10 px. And I'm going to put that in here too. And yes, I can inherit it or add a separate class. I would actually do that for all the different ones, but I'm going pretty fast here. All right, let's inspect this and let's put this in the right spot. First thing I want to do is set the width to 500 so it'll line up with that. And then the height is probably going to be 800 px. And we just make it so it fits. Yeah, you can use the arrow keys to actually do this kind of movement, which is really, really nice. And then you get to where it looks right. And then move it over just. There you go. So now we have our chat container. We have our camera container. And I think that's literally it. So let's take all of this, copy that, put that in the chat. And let's refresh this just to make sure it looks pretty good. This is a little high because I want the buttons down here. So let's reduce the size of this a little bit. And let's see, height. Give it a little space. Here, we'll go with 720. Perfect. Okay. 720 px. Ta-da. So now that I have all of this, how are you going to do the overlays for the different things, right? So the easiest way to do that is chroma key. So let's do that. Background color. I'm going to do that as my color. And I'll show you why I'm using magenta rather than green. Actually, I can show you pretty quickly. Whoops, green. All right. So everything got updated here. And as I said, I can show you pretty quickly. So you see that this is green. And you can see that it's not green in the stream. Even though we set it to green, you're now seeing the camera over here, which is not what I want. That's why I'm going to use a different color. Now you can see everything. But if I change them all to green, 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 and I save it, now you actually start seeing the camera come through in each one of those. So I kind of have a layout, and the chroma key is actually working really well here. But it's not what I want to do, because here I want an overlay for the desktop. Here I want one for a camera. And this is going to be the chat container. I don't have a chat set up for mine, so I don't think anyone's even here. Oh. I have no idea who this person is. And Larry Eldridge. I have no idea who Larry Eldridge is, but okay. Anyway, whatever. So I'm live. Back to here. I'm gonna fix this. So we're gonna change those colors back to magenta. And let's do it. Magenta, magenta, Oh, why magenta? Real easy. If you look at the color, let's see if I can get you there. If I hover over this, you can see 255, 255. So that means it is a very specific color in regards to an R and a B value. And it doesn't mess with any type of G, green. So therefore the camera will come through regularly on the green. All right. Let's get out of that zoom mode, and now we're back to here. So all of these, oh, I gotta save it. All fixed. Cool. So let's do an overlay now. And I will come into OBS. Oh, and now I have to show OBS. Let's see if I can do that. To duplicate this. Screen capture. OBS screen capture. Great. And then I want to delete this. Yes. So now I know you don't see anything. Hold on. Screen capture. Create new. That's fine. Yep. And now you can see OBS. Great. Ta-da. Okay. So what I want to do is actually create a new scene. A new scene, and this is new overlay. And I'll say okay. So let me add. Here, let me add. All right. So now you can probably hear me again. Good. All right. So we have this, and I have the camera. I can add any camera I want here, which is kind of cool. I just did this one so you can see as I'm doing this OBS screen capture. So I'll come back here, and I'm going to add a scene to this. And the scene I'm going to add to this is that border circular, because it's kind of fun. Border circular. And I say okay. And there I am. And let's move it over and resize it, because it's way too big. And there we go. We'll put that right up here. Okay, so now you see OBS, and now I have this, and I have created a new overlay down here. And in that new overlay, here, I think I can do it here, just so you can see everything. I'm going to add a new browser source, and I'll just say create new browser tune. It's fine. And it's asking for a URL. Well, that URL is going to be this. And it is 1920 by 1080. And we say okay. And wow, okay. And it looks like everything's connected, because 1920 by 1080 is not right. Really kind of interesting. Okay. All right. So this is our overlay. We'll move the border on. So now you can see me again. But what I want to do is add a filter. Here, I think I want to move this up too. So you can see. And then I'm clicking here. I'm going to add a filter. I'm going to add a chroma key. That's fine. And magenta. See, that's actually one of the default ones. Green, blue, or magenta. So I'm using magenta. And I say okay. And as you can see, everything just went transparent, which is great. So then if I move this up, you can start seeing the background. I'm going to move it even up above that. And now you can see things starting to fit. So if I resize this and I put it in that window, there you go. So there's that one. But you notice these are overlapping. So let me move, whoops. I'm going to move this. I'm going to move this guy down here. Don't ask me why. Because I want to put another camera up here. So let me add another camera. And what I'm going to do is add a scene. Because I have a scene called Zoom Scene. Which is this. Which is great. And then I can resize this. And I will put that up in that window up here. Something like that. And there you go. So let's clean this up. So as you saw, it was all overlaid. And I didn't want all that overlay. All that overlay was a little frustrating. Mainly because, oh, that's kind of nice because you can see, and it's not zoomed out. Anyway, all that overlay is not spaced correctly. Even though if I come over to here, it is spaced correctly. But this screen here is 1920 by 1080. And I don't think that's the same. So let's play with this a little bit. And you should be able to see it real time. So I'm going to play with this and with, it says 1920 by 1080. Let's reduce it and let's see what happens. Save. Still looks good. I need to come to the browser and refresh. Let's see. Okay, now we're getting our spaces back. So the one of the things, because I have the chroma key, it's really hard to see where those are actually, whoops, where those are actually going to be. And you can see how this is overlaying. So what I'm going to do, Zoom Scene browser, is actually remove that chroma key for now. And I'll come back to it. Don't worry. Right. So let's see if I can get this to the right. I think that's kind of close. Oh, 1920. 1920, there it is. And then height. I think the height is actually right. It's close enough. All right, but this is actually what we're seeing now. So then now that I have that in the right size, and I think if I did this and I clicked on dimensions, let's do responsive and change this to 1920 by 1080. And this is exactly what it looks like, which is great. So I'm going to keep that, come back here, and then start playing with these. So width. And I'll get it ready. I think 1200 is going to be, yeah, 1250. Great. So that looks good, right? The camera container looks good, chat container looks good, everything looks good. Great, so let's refresh this. And I'm going to bring you back to OBS so you can see it. All right, so now we're back here, and I'm going to here, and I'm going to refresh it. And now let's see what it actually looks like. Screen capture, let's move that in. It's still overlaying significantly. I wonder why. Hold on, I'm going to remove this screen capture. Remove. Yeah, that looks good. I don't know. All right, hold on. Let's remove this for now. And let's just play with. Yeah, great. So then from here, 1920 by 1080. I wonder if this size isn't what I think it is. We will keep moving it and let's see what happens. So I'll do the width of this to be 1000. Oh, I'm an idiot. It's because I didn't actually change it. I was playing with it. There, that'll fix it. So now, yeah, it was 1400. Yeah. So 1250 will do it. There. Hey, I actually got to do it in my code. All right, so let's put this. Whoop. Let's move this to here. And chat container leave. That looks good. And then I can come back to the filters. Yeah, show you this so you can see it. We will do other filters. Oh, great. There we go. And then I move this to here. I move this down there. And there's that. Border circular. And let's add a desktop. Add scene. We will do screen capture. resize that. There. And there you go. And if I want, I can move this guy. Whoops. Okay. And actually, I can leave him right here, but I can literally just turn him off. That. And there. So, based off of what I was playing with over here, I have this screen, that, and I have that. Let's take a look at what it looks like. So there was a screen, there's me, and that was it. And it was just placing some basic HTML. Can I do fun borders? Of course. You see that border right there? Let's do a border. So we'll do border. We'll do solid Phoenix. CC. So now you can see the border. So now I need to tweak this, which is this. Get it a little bit smaller. There, something like that. Got padding, you got a border. It's that easy. What I really want to do is put this all the way there. So now it actually looks a lot better. And you can see how this automatically still sees that. You want to remove the text because this is still saying desktop, I'm sure. So let me come over to these and get rid of camera container. Camera container, gone. Great. There we go. Get rid of desktop container. Great. And if I want for the chat container, just so you can see it, I will change that to blue. So now you can see that. I'll do color white. There you go. And you can change different chroma keys depending on how you're doing it, but you can see I have a nice little border on that. Let's actually tweak that even. So we will do border solid. Here, we'll use the same. There. Now I have a border. Make it significant. That's too much. That's still too much. Simple. Fun border mask is set up. You can put your chat here. If you want to put buttons, you can actually put buttons down here. So let me come to the page. Great. So this is actually what it'll look like inside of a browser. And as you can see in OBS, you know what it looks like. That's my camera up here. And that is my desktop screen here, my chat container here, and I can add buttons or pop-ups or things like that down here. super simple, kind of fun. Anyway, I was playing with that today and I was like, how would I do this? Well, that's how you do it. Hope that helps. I am gonna go now. But just want to talk about it, show you some real code, and realize you don't have to actually pay for everything. You can actually just do it yourself and learn a little bit about HTML and CSS. So, cool. I will talk to you later. Have a good one.